Number 16, determine whether f and g are inverse functions. Well, before we even start, we need to figure out what an inverse function really is. Okay? And I like it unto this. The reason I put this in a PowerPoint form here is I like to think about the undo command up here. Okay? So you see the undo? Now, a lot of people have used this, but let me give you an illustration here. If I come along and say, I don't need g of x, I'll just move it out of the way, move it almost off the screen. In fact, you know what I think I'll do? I'll just delete that sucker. Let me hit my delete key and you're gone. Now all of a sudden, a couple minutes later, I realize, oh my gosh, I got rid of the g of x and I really needed it. Well, what can I do? Well, we'll undo the clear. In fact, I'll undo the move. I'll undo it till I get what I want. Now I've got it back. Back just like it was when I started. Okay? Pull this in a slide form again. If g is the inverse of f, then if you start off with x, and you do g of x and then f of g of x, you should end up with x. If f is the undo of g and g is the undo of this, then whatever happens to this thing, you should end up with exactly what you started with. Now let's use this example. We want to know f circle g of x. Well, that's f of g of x, isn't it? Well, f of anything is 1 over that thing. So we 1 over that, right? Where we plug g of x in down here, put g of x down here, right? Now, let's go figure out what g of x is. Hopefully this whole thing turns into an x, but right now let's see. We'll plug this. Let's find out what g of x is. G of x is what? X. So I'm going to plug an x down here. So you end up with 1 over g of x, which is x. So our f circle g of x is 1 over x. Well, that's not what we want it to be. It didn't undo it. Okay? When you did f on g and g on f, it didn't undo it. You don't end up with x down here. You end up with 1 over x. So these are not inverses. These are not inverse functions. Alright, because this is not the undo of this. We start off with x, we undid it, we did g on it, and then we undid it, and we don't end up with x. So there is no undo on this thing. So these are not inverse functions.